to all. My name is Uttam Surya. Welcome back to our channel Uttam Surya B. So today we're going to discuss about parts of speech. So firstly we look at the English grammar booklet index. So the chapter number 1 is parts of speech. Chapter number 2 is parts of speech detailed explanation. Chapter number 3 is articles. Chapter number 4 is tenses. Chapter number 5 is active voice and passive voice. Chapter number 6 is question tag. Chapter number 7 is direct and indirect speech. Chapter number 8 is degrees of comparison. And chapter number 9 is sentence formation. Chapter number 10 is English reading passages. Chapter number 11 is letter writing. Chapter number 12 is sentence structure. Chapter number 13 is verbs 150 NIS. Chapter number 14 is English reading and writing to children up to 12 years. So that's all. And today we're going to discuss about parts of speech and parts of speech detailed explanation. Okay? So now we're gonna come with parts of speech. So parts of speech. What is parts of speech? Parts of speech is divided into 8 types. Noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection. So firstly we'll look at the noun. A noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, or idea. Examples include like it's a dog, city, happiness, and John. So next comes the pronoun. A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. Examples include he, she, it, they, and I. Verb. A verb is a word that describes an action, occurrence, or state of being. Examples include run, eat, sleep, and use. Adjective. An adjective is a word that describes or modifies a noun or pronoun, giving more information about it. Examples include happy, blue, tall, and delicious. So next comes the adverb. An adverb is a word that modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb, indicating how long, word, or extent. Examples include quickly, right now, and there. Preposition. A preposition is a word that shows the relationship between a noun or pronoun and other words in a sentence. Examples include in, on, at, by, and with. So next comes the conjunction. A conjunction is a word that connects words, phrases, or clauses in a sentence. Examples include and, but, or, because, and if. So nextly comes the interjection. An interjection is a word that is an interjection is a word or phrase that express emotion or exclamation. Examples include wow, ouch, hey, alas. So understanding this part of speech is essential for constructing sentence correctly and effectively, conveying meaning in English. So next comes the noun. We're going to see a detailed explanation of noun. So noun. Definition. A noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, or idea. It is one of the most fundamental parts of speech and is used to identify, label, or describe entities. So now we're going to start the types of nouns. Proper nouns. These are specific names for people, places, or things and are usually capitalized. Examples include Mary, London, and Eiffel Tower. So next comes the common nouns. These are general names for people, places, or things, and are not capitalized unless they begin a sentence. Examples include dog, city, happiness, and John. Next comes the concrete nouns. These are nouns that represent physical objects that can be seen, touched, smelled, heard, or tasted. Examples include like its table, apple, and car. So next comes the abstract nouns. These are nouns that represent ideas, concepts, or qualities that are intangible. Examples include love, freedom, and happiness. Countable nouns. These are nouns that can be counted and have singular and plural forms. Example is dog, singular, and dogs, plural. There are many other plurals. For example, you take another example, song, singular, songs, plural. And next comes the uncountable nouns, also known as mass nouns. These are nouns that cannot be counted or do not have a plural form. Examples include water, sand, and music. So next comes the functions of noun. Subject. Noun can function as the subject of a sentence, performing the action of a verb. Example, the cat sleeps. Object. Nouns can function as the object of a verb, receiving the action of a verb. Example, she loves music. Complements. Nouns can function as a complement, completing the meaning of a sentence. Example, her doctor. He's a doctor. Position in a sentence. Nouns can appear in various positions within a sentence. Depending on the function, they can be the subject, object, complement, or part of a prepositional phrase. Next comes the modifiers. Noun can be modified by adjectives to provide more information or to specify which one is being referred to. Example, the big house. Pluralization. Most nouns have singular and plural forms. The plural is usually formed by ing or es to the singular form. Through irregular plurals exist. Examples, child, children. So, nouns are essential in language and are used nearly in every sentence to identify and describe the world around us. So, next comes the pronoun. A pronoun is a word that is used in place of a noun to avoid repetition or to simplify a sentence. Pronouns can refer to people, places, things, or ideas, and they play an important role in language by making sentences less cumbersome and more efficient also. Here's a detailed explanation of pronouns. So we're going to look at pronouns detailed explanation. So firstly, we're going to see the types of pronoun. What types of pronoun that has? Pronouns has. So firstly, we look at the personal pronoun. These refer to specific people or things and change their form based on the role in a sentence. Subject, object, etc. Examples include I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. Possessive pronouns. These show ownership or possession and do not require an additional noun. Examples include mine, yours, his, hers, ours, and theirs. So, next we are going to look at demonstrative pronouns. So, these point to specific things or people and indicate proximity. Examples include this, that, these and those. So next, we're going to look at relative pronouns. These introduce a dependent class and related to the noun it modifies. Examples include who, whom, whose, which, and that. Interrogative pronouns. These are used to ask questions. Examples include who, whom, whose, which, and what. Indefinite pronouns. These refer to non-specific persons or things. Examples include everyone, someone, anybody, nothing, everything, and all. Next, reciprocal pronouns. These indicate that two or more people are acting in the same way towards each other. Examples include each other and one another. So next comes the reflexive pronouns. These refer back to the subject of the sentence and are formed by adding self or selves to certain personal pronouns. Examples include myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. So next comes the functions. Pronouns can function as the subject, object, or complement in a sentence, just like nouns. For example, in the sentence, she loves him. She is the subject pronoun and him is the object pronoun. So next comes the gender and number. Some pronouns indicate gender. Example, he, she, it, and etc. Maybe more. While others do not. Example, they. They is not a gender noun. Pronouns can be singular or plural, and they change form accordingly. For example, he is singular while they is plural. So next comes the usage tips of a pronoun. Pronouns should agree with their antecedents in gender and number. Avoid ambiguous pronoun references where it's unclear what the pronoun is referring to. Use pronouns to repetitive or awkward sentence structures. So next we're going to look at the verb. A verb is a word that expresses an action, occurrence, or state of being. Verbs are one of the most central components of sentences, and they convey the main information about what is happening in a sentence. Here's a detailed explanation of verbs. So, types of verbs. So, we're going to look at types of verbs. The first one is action verb. These verbs express physical or mental actions. Examples include run, eat, think, and write. So next comes the linking verbs. These verbs connect the subject of a sentence to a noun, pronoun, or adjective that renames or describes the subject. Examples include is, am, are, were, become, seem, and appear. So next we're going to look at auxiliary verbs, also known as helping verbs. These verbs are used with main verbs to form verb phrases that convey various tenses, moods, voices, and aspects. Examples include have, has, had, do, does, did, will, shall, can, could, may, might, must, ought to, should, and would, and etc. There might be more. So we're going to see the functions of a verb. So first, it is expressing action. Verbs indicate actions that someone or something performs. Example, she dances. Expressing state of being. Verbs can indicate a state or condition. Example, he's happy. Like he's a happy person. Linking subject and complement. Linking verbs connect the subject of a sentence to a word or phrase that renames or describes the subject. Example, she's a doctor. So next we're going to look at tense, mood, voice and aspect. So what is tense? Verbs can indicate when an action or state of being occurs. Past, present or future. Example, I ate. It's a past tense. I eat. That is a present tense. I will eat. Means I'm gonna eat. That is a future tense. So next we're going to look at the mood. Verbs can indicate the attitude or manner in which the action is expressed. Example, indicative, imperative, subjunctive. If I were rich, it's a subjunctive mood. That's an example of a subjunctive mood. So next we're going to look at voice. Verbs can indicate the relationship between the subject and the action, like active voice or passive voice. Example, she wrote the letter. That is a active voice. Means it's like clearly. She's saying directly. The letter was written by her. It's a passive voice. So aspect. Verbs can indicate the duration or completion of an action. Examples: simple, continuous, perfect. Example, she's sleeping. It's a continuous aspect now. So next comes the verb phrases. Verbs can form phrases by combining with auxiliary verbs. Example, I have been studying. Next comes the infinitive, gerunds and participles. Infinitives. The base form of a verb. Example, to run, to eat. Gerunds. Verbs that function as nouns by adding ing. Example, running, eating, and so on. Participles. Verbs that function as adjectives, present participles end in ing, and past participles often end in ed or irregular forms. Example, running water, broken glass. Verbs are crucial for constructing sentences because they provide the action or state of being that drives the meaning of a sentence. They are central to conveying information and expressing ideas in language. So, next is adjective. Adjective. An adjective is a word that modifies or describes a noun or pronoun by providing more information about its qualities or attributes. Adjectives help to add detail, depth, and color to sentences, allowing writers and speakers to paint a clearer picture for the audience. Here's a detailed explanation of adjectives. So, firstly, we'll look at the types of adjectives. That is, descriptive adjectives is the first one of adjective. These adjectives describe the characteristics or qualities of a noun or pronoun. Examples include beautiful, blue, tall, and smart. So next comes the quantitative adjectives. These adjectives indicate the quantity or amount of a noun. Example include few, many, several, and some. Demonstrative pronouns. It's adjective. These adjectives point out or identify a particular noun or pronoun. Example is including this, that, these, those, and I think that are only demonstrative adjective examples, none other. Possessive adjectives. These adjectives indicate ownership or possession. Examples include my, your, his, her, its, our, and their. So next we are going to look about the interrogative adjectives. These adjectives are used to ask questions about a noun. Examples include which, what, and whose. So next comes the functions. So in functions, the first one is modifying a noun. Adjectives modify or describe nouns or pronouns to give more detail or to differentiate between similar items. Example, the red car is fast. So next comes the ordering adjectives. When multiple adjectives are used to describe the same noun, there is a specific order in which they should be placed, like opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purpose. Example, she bought a beautiful, old, round, wooden table. That's all. So next we are going to see the comparison. Adjectives can be used in different degrees of comparison to indicate the level of equality. The 3 degrees of comparison are positive. Example, it's big. Means nothing is compared by it. Comparative. Example, bigger. Means it is compared by only one person. And superlative. Example, the biggest. Means it's an example. This girl is the biggest in the whole class. So next comes the position in a sentence. Adjectives usually come before the noun. They modify. However, some adjectives can come after the noun in certain constructions, such as something good or someone special. Use with linking verbs. Adjectives can also function as complements to linking verbs, describing the subject of the sentence. Example, she is happy. Uses in clauses. So adjectives can be used in relative clauses to provide additional information about a noun. Example, the man who is wearing a red shirt is my brother. Not only that, the man who is wearing a blue shirt is my brother. So next is adjective really plays a crucial role in adding depth, color, and specify to language, allowing speakers and writers to create vivid. Means it is allowing them to create vivid and detailed descriptions also. So next comes the adverb. An adverb is a word that modifies or describes a verb, adjective, or another adverb. Adverbs provide information about how, when, where, or what tense an action is performed or a condition is present. So now we're going to look at the detailed explanation of adverbs. Types of adverbs. The first one is adverbs of manner. These adverbs describe how an action is performed. Examples include quickly, slowly, carefully, and loudly. Next, adverbs of time. These adverbs describe when an action occurs. Examples include now, later, soon, yesterday, and today also. So next we are going to look at adverbs of place. These adverbs describe where an action occurs. Examples include here, there, everywhere, inside, outside. Adverbs of frequency. These adverbs describe how often an action occurs. Examples include always, often, sometimes, rarely, and never. Adverbs of degree. These adverbs describe the extent or intensity of an action. Examples include very, quite, to, almost, and completely. Interrogative adverbs. These adverbs are used to ask questions. Examples include how, when, where, why, and how much. Next comes the functions. So in functions, we are going to look at modifying verbs. Adverbs modify verbs by providing more information about how the action is performed. Example, she sings beautifully. So next comes the modifying adjectives. Adverbs can modify verbs to indicate the degree or intensity of a quality. Example, it was extremely hot. It was extremely cold. And many other modifying verbs. Adverbs can also modify other adverbs to indicate the degree or manner of an action. Example, he ran very quickly. And another, etc. The many examples like that. So next we're going to look at the position in a sentence. Adverbs can be placed before or after the verb they modify. At the beginning or end of a sentence, or before or after the adjective or adverb they modify. The placement depends on this type of adverb and the desired emphasis. So next comes the comparison. Adverbs can also be compared using the same 3 degrees like we saw before: positive, comparative and superlative. And I told you examples also. So that 3 degrees adjectives, it's also written here: positive, comparative and superlative. Example, she dances more gracefully than her sister. So next, avoiding redundancy. Adverbs should not be used redundantly with certain verbs that already convey specific manner of action. For example, it is incorrect to say he ran quickly because ran already implies speed. So next, adverbs play a crucial role in providing additional information. So it is gonna provide additional information and context in sentences, helping them to clarify and enhance the meaning of actions, descriptions. Next comes the preposition. A preposition is a word that shows the relationship between a noun or pronoun and other words in a sentence. Prepositions are used to indicate location, direction, time, manner, to introduce an object of a preposition. Here's a detailed explanation of prepositions. So, firstly, we are going to look at the types of preposition. So, first one is prepositions of place. These prepositions indicate where something is located or the direction of movement. Examples include in, on, at, under, above, below, behind, beside, and between. Prepositions of time. These prepositions indicate when something happens. Examples include before. We came before than them in a race. After. We were after the race today. During. It was very cold during the winter. In, on, at, since, and for. So next we are going to look at prepositions of direction and movement. These prepositions indicate the direction of movement. Means this preposition indicates the direction of a movement. Examples include to, from, into, onto, out of, up, down, across, and along. Next comes the prepositions of manner. These prepositions indicate how something is done. Examples include with, by, like, and as, and through. Next comes the prepositions of agency. These prepositions indicate the person or thing that performs an action. Examples include by, as in the book was written by the author, and with, as in the he was hit with a ball. So we're going to look at now other prepositions. There are many other prepositions that do not fit neatly into these categories, such as about, since, until, against, among, throughout, without. So next we are going to see the functions. Prepositions typically come before a noun or pronoun to show its relationship to another word in the sentence. Example, the book is on the table. The book is on the table. It's on means it's up. Prepositions are often used to introduce phrases called prepositional phrases, which consist of the preposition, its objects, the noun or pronoun that follows, and any other modifiers. Example, she walked to the store. So next we are going to see about the usage tips. Prepositions are often used to indicate location, time or direction, but their uses can be idiomatic and vary between languages. Some prepositions can be used in multiple ways and their meaning can change based on context. Example, the book is on the table. Location versus she's working on a project. It's a task. So next we are going to look about prepositional phrases. Prepositional phrases can function as adjectives or adverbs in a sentence, modifying nouns or verbs. Example, the girl with the red hair is my sister. Versus, and it's an adjective. Versus, he walked to the park. It's an adverb. He walked. He walked to the verb. Prepositions are essential for conveying relationships and providing context in a sentence. They help clarify the spatial, temporal, and logical relationship between elements in a sentence. So next we are going to look about the conjunction. A conjunction is a word that connects words, phrases, or clauses in a sentence. Conjunctions are used to join elements of equal importance and to show how the parts of a sentence are related. Here's a detailed explanation of pronouns. So now we're going to see the detailed explanation of conjunctions. So types of conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions. These conjunctions connect words, phrases or clauses that are of equal grammatical rank. The most common coordinating nouns are and, but, or, nor, for, so, and yet. Example are like tea and coffee. So next some these subordinating conjunctions. These conjunctions connect an independent class with a dependent class, indicating the relationship between them. Subordinating conjunctions include because, although, if, when, while, since, before, after, unless, and where. Example, I will go if you go. So next comes the correlative conjunctions. These conjunctions come in pairs and connects words, phrases, or clauses. Common correlative conjunctions include either, or, neither, nor, both, and not only, but also, and, or whether, or. Example, you can have either tea or coffee. Means you can order tea or coffee. So next comes the functions. Conjunctions join words, phrases or clauses to make longer sentences. Example, I ate dinner and then went to bed. Conjunctions can show the relationship between ideas such as cause and effect, contrast, condition or time. Example, she studied hard so she could pass the exam. So next comes the position in a sentence. In most cases, conjunctions appear between the words, phrases or clauses they connect. Example, he's tall and he's strong. So next we are going to see about the usage tips. Use a comma before a coordinating conjunction when it joins independent clauses. Example, I like tea but she likes coffee. Subordinating conjunctions introduce dependent clauses and are followed by a subject and verb. Example, because it was raining, we stayed indoors. So next comes the conjunctions and punctuation. Conjunctions themselves do not require punctuation, but the clauses they connect may require punctuation depending on the context. Conjunctions play a crucial role in English grammar by connecting elements within a sentence and showing how those elements relate to each other. They help create coherent and meaningful sentences by linking ideas and adding complexity. to the structure of sentences. So next we are going to see interjection. An interjection is a word or phrase that expresses emotion, feeling or a sudden reaction. Interjections are used to convey a wide range of emotions from joy and excitement to surprise, anger or pain. Here's a detailed explanation of interjections. So types of interjections. Joy. Expressions of joy include words like yay or hooray. These are used to show happiness or excitement. Next, surprise. Expressions of surprise include words like wow, oh. These are used to show astonishment or disbelief. Next comes the pain. Expressions of pain include words like ouch, it hurts, or ow. These are used to show that something hurts. So next comes the greeting. Expressions of greeting include words like hello or hi. These are used to greet someone. Hi sir, how are you doing? Are you fine? Like that. So farewell. Expressions of farewell include words like goodbye, bye, we'll meet soon. These are used to say goodbye to someone. So let's take example. Bye dad, I'm going to be back in 2 days. That's all. So next comes the approval. Example expressions of approval include words like bravo, you passed the test, or well done, you got a gold medal. These are used to show approval or admiration. Disapproval. Expressions of disapproval includes words like boo or I'm so tired today. These are used to show displeasure or disgustness. So next we are going to look at the functions. Interjections are used to convey emotion or add emphasis to a statement. They are not grammatically related to the rest of the sentence and can stand alone. Interjections are often followed by an exclamation mark to indicate strong feeling. So next comes the position in a sentence. Interjections can appear at the beginning, middle or end of a sentence, depending on the emphasis or emotion the speaker wants to convey. Example, wow, that's amazing. Oh, that's amazing. Wow, bravo, bravo. Like that. So users tips. Use interjections sparingly in formal writing, as they are more common in informal speech. Their tone of voice and context are important when using interjections, as they can change the meaning or impact of a statement. So now we look at some example. Wow, that's incredible! You ran so fast. Ouch, that hurt. The ant bited me. That's all. Next, hey, what's going on? Alas, we were too late. Interjections are a versatile and expressive part of language, allowing speakers to convey a wide range of emotions and reactions in a conscious and impactful way. So that's all for today, guys. And tomorrow we'll make a video of articles. Bye bye. Soon catch you.